All right, so welcome to today's version of OCD Chronicles, or today's broadcast, I should say. This is Scott, and today what I want to talk about is some healthy ways to find when I say safety or nurturing or certainty into your life to relieve anxiety and soften the OCD symptoms. So I'm continuously baffled by my lack of understanding that OCD really, there's symptoms. And so what I mean by that is I become convinced that the number one thing I need to do in my life is to stop the thoughts that are causing me a lot of discomfort and pain and anger and anguish, and so I do things, to try to relieve that anxiety and neutralize that obsession or whatever that looks like. And for those of us that suffer from OCD, we know that does not work. but it feels like it's what we need to do, right? And so something that I've been experimenting with recently that's been helping a lot is to do a better job of taking care of myself and to create more of a feeling of safety and nurturing. And so what I've been finding is as I'm doing that and I'm going to bed earlier, I'm eating healthier, I'm buying myself stuff that I need to take care of myself, cooking nice dinners, and really just doing things to create like an environment that feels peaceful and stable to me, that my anxiety is a lot less and I feel more of a sense of wholeness. And what I'm finding is that since I'm feeling more of this sense of wholeness and that I'm taking care of myself, that I don't feel that I need to protect myself from harm with OCD. So for me, at least, I believe that OCD was a way that I could protect myself growing up in a very unstable, chaotic environment and trying to make sense of things that don't make sense as a young kid. And so my way to deal with it and cope with it was to go inside my head and to try to, find safety and security there, because things didn't make sense on the outside for me. And the people that were supposed to be, the caretakers weren't really taking care of me. And so what I'm wanting readers to hear or listeners to hear today is just that if you could relate to that and you feel like OCD has been a way that you've used to protect yourself, even though it's not fun, right? But at a point, it was there to really help you feel some type of certainty in an uncertain life or uncertain environment. And not that life is 100% certain, of course not, but if you could take care of yourself and really provide that stability and safety that you didn't get as a kid, then I feel that your inner child, the part of you that the OCD that feels the need to protect you, is going to be less active. And so that's what I feel like I've been experiencing recently, is that because I am actively taking better care of myself than normal and showing, that scared child that I'm, going to be there and I'm active and I'm consistent and I do what I say I'm going to do, that those defense mechanisms or coping mechanisms aren't as active. And so it's really fascinating because logically it seems like what you need to do is get rid of the symptoms, right? Or, like that's what it feels like. And then what the reality is, and I know I've said this before, is that there's root things below the surface that need to be dealt with to help with those symptoms and lessen those symptoms. And, just to be clear, that doesn't mean that the goal should be to eradicate all the thoughts, because believe me, that hasn't worked well for me. If it works well for you, having that goal, let me know how you did that. But for me, that's one of the worst things I could do is try to make my main goal to get rid of the thoughts, and that's what perpetuates all the compulsions. And that's when really like I lose my life, in the sense that like my whole life is dedicated towards trying to get rid of these thoughts that are causing me distress, instead of living my life and enjoying life and other things and activities and my job and my friends and all these other things. And so it becomes a horrible way to live when I've been in that place before, so I know what that looks like and feels like. So that's my encouragement today, is that if you're really feeling like your OCD is spiking and things are chaotic, I would first say get in touch with your feelings. That's always a good starting point for me, how you're feeling. A lot of times there's feelings I'm avoiding. Sometimes it's sadness. Sometimes I'm feeling lonely or rejected. There's all sorts of feelings that'll surface when I take the time to ask myself, and not just anxious, right, from the thoughts. Like actually, like what am I feeling below the anxiety from the thoughts? What's going on in my life right now? Am I feeling unmotivated? Am I feeling, ashamed? Am I feeling disappointed in myself? Whatever it is, it could be a whole bunch of different things. Am I feeling happy? And that's uncomfortable for me, like maybe that could even be it. Sometimes good change could provoke OCD, as I've heard many times. So that's really all I got today. If you're listening and you have any things you want to share about this, or ways, I'd love to hear any ways that you want to provide nurturing for yourself. I know something that I've been doing this week has been, I have like a picture of myself as a kid. And so I've been asking myself, like, what could I do for this child today, and how could he feel loved and nurtured? Because I didn't get much of that growing up. So it's like, how could I give that to him today? And seeing what comes up. Yesterday we went to the park because that's what he wanted to do. And then other things like just, getting myself, like something as simple as, like, for me, it was like I had socks with holes in them. And like, I do this all the time where it's like, I just keep wearing them and they have the holes in them. So what did I do? I went out and, I bought myself some new socks, and it feels really good. Or like I got myself some scented candles that I really like to light around the house to provide a more, relaxing environment. So things like that. And going to bed earlier, shutting off my computer, not bringing it in the room with me. Just those kinds of things have been helping out a lot. Getting back into morning routine. I've been doing like moving my body in the morning, which has been helping a lot. First thing, getting out of my head, so it's like I'm getting in my body first thing when I wake up in the morning, and then I'll eat like my breakfast and do like, like my morning journaling or something like that. But the first thing I'm doing is getting in my body. So those are some of the things that have been helping me. Again, if you're listening, I'd love to share anything with listeners of things that have helped you or are helping you, or maybe you want to make a declaration of things you're going to do. Please, by all means, that would be helpful for all of us. So if you're listening to this, I really hope that this has been helpful for you, and have a great rest of the week.